Welcome to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Hello, world, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of the Urban Advantage Podcast, presented by the University of North Texas at Dallas. I'm Benjamin Bullock, the Senior Marketing and Communications Coordinator for UNT Dallas, and joining me as co-host is the owner and CEO of Rainmaker Incorporated, Greg, my man, Campbell. What's happening, Greg? Welcome to 2019, sir.
Thank you, Ben, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to our audience and followers out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How is your year going so far?
You know, 2019 got off to a really quick start, and it's been intense for the first few days of this year. I mean, we're just into the first week and a half, and I can tell you business is popping, activities are popping, I'm meeting and connecting with people, and it's on. This is going to be a fabulous year.
So you making it rain per usual. You picked up where you left off 2018, huh?
Man, I didn't stop. I didn't stop.
How was your holiday break, man?
Holiday was actually wonderful. I got to spend some quality time with my daughter, Kenya, and my two grandchildren. Kobe, who is now 6 months. Shout out to Kobe. And
to
Harmony, my special little girl.
Nice, nice. What about for New Year's? What'd you do?
New Year's, I just did it real quiet. Just came back and relaxed and got some good food in and spent some time just watching the ball come down and listen to some good music and connect with some really good and important people.
Nice, man. I went back home to Delaware, checked out my family, my nephew and my brother who was over in Israel. Came back home. He's over there cooking for a professional basketball team out there. So shout out to him. Got to see him for the first time since my wedding in June. So saw his son, his fiance, Andrea. So shout out to my little nephew and Andrea and my entire family. That was good. You know what I mean? Mom's cooked up a storm. She did her thing per usual. And you know me, when I go home, I stuff my face like I'm a 3-year-old kid. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't that what the holidays are about? Being able to connect with your family and loved ones and be able to sit around a meal and break some bread.
Man, broke the whole loaf. That's what I did. You know what I mean? So, and then I actually ended up going to Atlanta, where my wife is from, visit her mom and her family. That was pretty cool, man. So when we were trying to get back to Dallas, man, I think it was some severe thunderstorms Christmas week. So we couldn't even get on the flight back. So we actually had to drive from Atlanta to Dallas. So actually worked out good. Stopped by my godparents' house out there in Hoover, Alabama.
Where?
Hoover. It's right outside of Birmingham. It's not too far, maybe about an hour and some change outside of Birmingham. So stopped by there. They've been spoiling me since I was literally maybe about 1 or 2 years old. So she had made some fried chicken, had some fries.
You sure you didn't intentionally miss the flights or cause yourself to have to drive and go by and get some grub?
We was delayed for like 2 or 3 days, and we fly Stanford since she's a flight attendant. So we was like, you know what, babe, let's just go and make this trek over to Dallas from Atlanta. It actually wasn't a bad drive. Like I said, we stopped at my godparents' house, and we actually stopped at her school, Grambling. That's where she went to school at. So we stopped at Grambling, Louisiana. Got to see the campus. First time going there. Great school. That's one of the most historic HBCUs out there. So it was great. At New Year's, we just went to church and called it a day, man. That was about it.
That's wonderful. I had the opportunity of connecting just before the holidays with two young men that I am really, really proud of. Each of these young men have started their own respective companies, and they're in the early stages, but they're out there really kicking it. They have created technology companies. I won't go in too much into detail because I've signed NDAs with these companies, but I can just tell you, I'm just so proud to meet young students. And again, this is important for our student population and audience to hear. Young students who are starting and building companies on their own and making a mark for themselves. Some of them having to take a pause in their college studies to be able to fulfill this, but others just going ahead and doing school and building these ventures at the same time. A big shout out to Evan and a big shout out to Elijah.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. So I'm pretty sure you really enjoyed them, just kind of mentoring them and just trying to give them some of your tutelage and your experience so you can just pass along your knowledge, which I already know is extensive, knowing you.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. Anytime you do any mentoring or teaching, you're actually having to study yourself. So, I'm sharing information, but I'm going back home and studying to make sure what I'm sharing is of value. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm not just providing these young men with fish, I'm teaching them how to fish.
Yes.
So they are out there really building their businesses. They are building on their knowledge. I'm trying to pour into them. They're gathering all of this information. They're putting it to work on a day-to-day basis and building what I believe will be very successful companies. I will tell you a little bit more as we go on, and these companies have the opportunity to start flourishing. But I can tell you, I'm looking for each of these companies to have billion-dollar valuations. I started with a B. I didn't say no million.
I know millions.
I'm talking about
bills.
billion-dollar valuation for each of these young brothers.
That's love. That's love. So pretty much they're going to be on Shark Tank. Well, they probably have to. Well, they'll be on Shark Tank as an investor, though, but probably not as, somebody that's trying to get an investment.
The good news about each of these young men is that they see it as their responsibility once they are successful to again turn around and pour back into other young people and help them grow their own thing. I am so excited by the population of young people I'm coming in contact with who are building their own and then turning around trying to help others do the same thing.
Greg, I'm proud of you, man. I'll make sure you put me in that conversation too, man. I want to be in there.
We're going to do that. How about them Mavericks? I usually start talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, we usually save that. And
We're
we
going
also
to save the
save that
Cowboys
for
for a
last.
little later. But how about them Mavericks?
Duke.
Can you spell Luka?
Luka, yes. Luka Doncic, the man who's probably going to win the Rookie of the Year, and he's just taking over.
I mean, why are we even going? Who's going to be in second place? I mean, I can't even think of who's going to be in second place. Luka is the man.
Yeah, he's the man.
I mean, he's a forward who's playing point forward.
He's killing it, man.
And he's just doing his thing.
And he's taking the whole league and particularly this city by storm.
He's just doing his thing.
Luka, man, I like him, man. He's definitely adjusted to the league, and the Mavs need to get together on the road. That's their only problem right now because they're kind of hovering around 500, but they just recently beat Phoenix, so hopefully they can get it going and continue to climb up the standings in the Western Conference.
So now you got all these connections in the sporting world. When's Luka going to be on the Urban Advantage, man?
Man, okay, well,
I'm just putting it down there.
Well, let me see. I got to hit my man Mark Cuban on. Let me stop playing. I don't know Mark Cuban at all. You know what I mean? But shoot, let's.
I'll take either one. I'll take Luka or Mark Cuban. So
or Sid Marshall. Sid Marshall, the CEO.
Okay.
We can do her.
If we get Cynthia Marshall, that'd be wonderful too.
We can
Cynthia has
her.
made a tremendous difference, not only for the Mavericks, but in the entire league. You can see her now speaking to a number of different teams, and they're adopting the policies that she has launched here at the Mavericks and making a tremendous difference in how people of all ages, both men and women, are treated in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Sin.
Yes, and congrats on the Mavs, and hopefully I can continue to keep this thing going. Well, for our first-time listeners, the purpose of this podcast is to identify and keep you updated on what's happening in Southern Dallas and at UNT Dallas. Ranging from education to economic development to community relations to entertainment, we'll have it all covered for you right here.
Be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast, and by using the hashtag Urban ADV Podcast.
Greg, what is your social media handle? We gave you a shout out on our Instagram handles, on our social media handles the other day, but let them know what it is.
It is I am Greg Campbell. Simple as that. You don't have to worry about trying to remember anything fancy. It's I am Greg Campbell.
And my social media handle is at Ben Bulljive. That's at Ben. What's that last one, Greg?
Jive. So if you want to reach him on social media, all you have to do is just punch in Jive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Microsoft and somebody else will take care of the rest.
Yeah, they will. Probably Twitter, though, because I'm mainly a big Twitter guy. So also be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and also YouTube. Well, coming up, me and Greg are going to talk about what is on the horizon for UNT Dallas this semester and why this institution is a sleeping giant. Don't touch that dial.
Perched on a hilltop overlooking the downtown Dallas skyline, the University of North Texas at Dallas is the only public four-year university in the city of Dallas. Serving the #1 job market in America, UNT Dallas is ranked #1 in Texas and #6 nationally as the most affordable university. We as Trailblazers believe that every student should have the opportunity to earn a college degree regardless of their economic background, and we deliver. For more information, visit untdallas.edu. Blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast, and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Ben, UNT Dallas continues to be one of the top trending setting institutions in the U.S. What's on the horizon for UNT Dallas in 2019?
Man, so we actually finally going to have our student center done. That's on campus. That's going to be done hopefully in April or May. And it's looking beautiful, man. I've done a couple of tours through there. I did some Facebook and Instagram live coverage. I'm just walking in, had the whole hard hat on, looking like I'm doing the YMCA or something like that. But it was great, man. And then that's
First of all, folks, you got to imagine Ben in a hard hat. You got to imagine Ben in a hard hat. That's worth a picture. In fact, that's not worth a picture. That's worth a video.
Yeah, Instagram live video. You can still go see it right now, and also on our YouTube page. So, I mean, that thing is going to be crazy, man. It's going to be state of the art.
What kind of services are going to be in there?
Everything. Pretty much everybody who's in Founders Hall right now is going to be over there. So there'll be classrooms, everybody from student affairs, judicial affairs. I believe campus police is going to be over there.
Can you get something to eat over there?
Yes. It's going to be another cafe over there, I believe. I think the Jagger Cafe is going to stay in Founders, but there are going to be some food options over in the new building. So I can't wait for that. And then here downtown, where we're recording from the UNT Dallas Law School, their renovation on the old City Hall building here in Dallas, Texas, that is going to be done in the spring as well. So 2 brand new buildings, 2 brand new state-of-the-art facilities will be right here from UNT Dallas.
People, you got to understand the significance of the opening of this new law school building. First of all, it's fabulous. Mm-hmm. You know, from the tours that we've had, they have done it up. And when are they moving over there?
They should be moving. I talked to Paul Corliss, so shout out to him. He's the director of communications for UNT Dallas and also for the UNT system. He said it's going to be done around May or April. So both are going to kind of be done around the same time.
So what's going to happen to the existing law school building?
Well, I know some classes will still be over here for the most part, but for the most part, everything will be in the new building.
That's fabulous, fabulous. You know, you talked about UNT Dallas being a sleeping giant. You know, there are many reasons why that is really true. Mm-hmm. UNT Dallas is really the center for economic development in this community.
Absolutely.
It is the place that's generating the education that leads to jobs. You know, President Mung likes to talk about UNT Dallas as the pathway.
Yes.
It continues to prove itself as that pathway.
Pathway to social mobility, yes.
To prosperity, to being able to get a job. The connections between students, the community, and employers is centered here at UNT Dallas. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that is being thought about, it's something that's actually happening in our community.
Yes.
It's also become a center for innovation. Mm-hmm. So many things are happening here at this university, even from the linkage to the community, where we started to see the feeding of the hungry through the program last year, to the Promise program. And I know President Mung just has things that are just coming up that we can't even talk about yet.
No.
Can
well,
I?
keep it
No,
on
no, no.
keep it
Can
on
I?
low.
No, okay.
You know more than me,
I
though.
know more, but there's some more things that are coming about that the president and this university have planned. They're going to be really innovative in this community for the students, for employers, and for everybody that lives in this general area. It's going to be a game changer here. And then, you know, one of the other things that we overlook when we start thinking about UNT Dallas is that it's not only a center of education for young people, those who have graduated from high school and then immediately want to go into college. What about those adults who are in the community, who maybe started college several years ago, want to come back and finish a degree? UNT Dallas is right here.
Right here for you.
Within easy driving distance.
Yes.
And for those who maybe don't want to pursue a degree, but want to get a certificate in certain things that they can help improve their ability to get a job or to be promoted in the job that they already have, UNT Dallas is right here with multiple certificates that will allow them to be able to move forward in their career. This is a center of education, and you truly labeled it a sleeping giant in our community.
Absolutely. And the reason why I said that is because I'm going to give you a couple of facts here. Number one, UNT Dallas is the only public four-year university in Dallas, okay, which is huge, okay? Then UNT Dallas is the most affordable four-year institution in DFW. Everybody knows college is expensive, so UNT Dallas gives you a break.
You mean I don't have to worry about student loans?
Not necessarily. If you do, you ain't got to worry about too much.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Especially if you come in from the junior college ranks out of the Dallas County Community College District. You can go through the Dallas County Promise Program, which is an amazing opportunity and a chance for them to come into a college four-year institution at a low cost. Another thing is that UNT Dallas is ranked number one in the country for the lowest student loan debt upon graduation, which goes exactly what I just said about coming into an institution, not having to pay so much, and your student loans are as low as possible. For me, that's great. I wish I had that opportunity.
That's great. And guess what? We even have a dorm here. So those who are not in this immediate area or want to be on campus can stay.
Yeah,
stay on campus.
And I believe there's going to be one upcoming soon. Is that right, Greg? Or should I keep my mouth shut on that one?
I don't know if we can talk about that yet, but I would be surprised if there's not another dorm coming up onto the drawing board at some point. But just because that first dorm filled up rather quickly.
And it's growing. And a couple more points on why UNT Dallas is a sleeping giant. Dallas-Fort Worth is the nation's number one job market according to Forbes. Greg, as you know, you've been here since the 80s. This thing is booming through the roof.
Trying to say I'm old?
No, you're seasoned and you're a veteran. That's exactly what I'm saying. And then my last one is UNC Dallas has a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio. So there's no more, you don't have to worry about those big classes, you being one out of like 45 or 50 people. No, most of the classes is like your traditional high school classes where it's no more than 20 people in your class. So UNT Dallas is definitely on the uprise. And Greg, I'm just glad to be here to be able to see UNT Dallas grow at a very rapid pace.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So Greg, what about UNT Dallas going into this year? What are you expecting to see from this institution?
Well, I'm expecting to see that we're going to see significant growth in student population. I think we're going to start seeing some new programs being offered and focused here. I think we're going to see a growth in not only the young people, but older people attending here. I expect to see, as you said earlier, great expansion in the number of buildings that make up UNT Dallas. And I expect to see more and more employers recognize that UNT Dallas provides the training and education for the workforce of the future.
Okay. Now, to the fall, we didn't even get to talk about this, but fall commencement in December, we had a school record of 380 people walk across the stage. Okay, that's a school record to come through a fall graduation. So congratulations to those who made that walk across the stage. It was a lot of hard work. You did it, and congratulations to everybody who did that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Greg, we kind of had this conversation last night, just try to add something into the show. And you brought up a good point. Well, you brought up just real good question and tidbit. As an outsider, how does an outsider adapt to life into a new situation? You know what I mean? How would you attack that?
Well, we all are outsiders at some point in our life, and particularly want to direct this to our student population, because many of them are coming to UNT Dallas, and again, trying to figure out where they fit in. They may be coming into an environment where they don't know anybody, where their friends have gone to other institutions or haven't gone to college at all. And for many of our students, they may be the first person in their families going to school. I can remember myself growing up in New York City, where I was, again, first generation of immigrants from Jamaica, and I had to deal with the whole issue of feeling like an outsider because my culture, and to a certain extent, the language that was spoken at home didn't sound like the English that was spoken outside of the home, made me feel like an outsider. It was very, very different, and I had to deal with that feeling of being an outsider and had to figure out how to navigate. And part of what I would suggest to our students is, first of all, never give up who you are, but don't stop there. Okay, so don't give up who you are, but don't stop there. Learn to expand your horizons And understand that everybody else in your environment also feels like an outsider because it's new to them also.
Yep.
So one of the things that I suggest to people is to start engaging on a personal level. Find somebody else that you can just walk up to and have a conversation. Not text, not be on a computer because text is so impersonal.
So impersonal.
Just be able to walk up to someone and have a conversation. It can start as simple as, hey, you want to grab some coffee?
Yeah.
You want to have some lunch? Hey, you're in my class. What did you think of that professor or what that lecture was about?
Right.
Start a conversation and start exchanging information. Get to know who that other person is.
And join groups on campus.
And join groups on campus. But first of all, before you can start a group, because sometimes a group can be very intimidating.
Right.
So you maybe have to start with just having the experience of having a one-on-one conversation. And let that conversation blossom. Have conversations with multiple people. And then find your way into, because you'll find that there are more things in common than there are differences. So look for the things that are common and build on those.
Yeah.
It may be something as simple as you guys might have similar things in food that you like.
Sports,
Sports, girls, boys, whatever it is you got. Find something that you have in common and build on it through conversation and bring yourself into that other person's life. And then, you know, as they say, wash, recycle, and repeat.
Same thing.
Go back and do it again and again. And as you were suggesting, Ben, you know, go out and find groups that you can be a part of, things where you have common interests. So you may be into sports, you may be playing a sport, you may love soccer. There are people out there kicking the ball. Go out and join them. Become part of, if there's a soccer club here, join a soccer club.
And don't be timid when you do these things.
Don't do it. Now, Ben, you yourself have been an outsider. You were an outsider when you came to Texas. How have you dealt with being an outsider?
Man, I've actually dealt with being an outsider for pretty much my entire life. I've moved a lot growing up, man, even within my professional career. So, and also, too, I'm a pastor's son. So, like, my life is kind of different.
PK.
I'm a PK, man. So, like, my life and my spectrum and my scope on things is a lot different. So when I moved to Dallas, man, I already planned to come here since like 2011. I put that into my prayers and everything like that. So when I moved here, I adapted so well. You know what I mean? I knew exactly who to hit up. Luckily, I was blessed enough to meet you. When Paul Corliss hired me, he put me in a good position to meet, you know, Anthony Mentor, who's a part of our office, Monica Rana, who's our director and audio engineer, and so many other different people. And then when I got to church, that also, Concord Church, so shout out to Pastor Carter, one of our former guests, I was able to adapt to that as well because I'm used to that, you know what I mean? But as an outsider, kind of take your time a little bit, so you got to feel things out. I'm never the type of person that jumps into a situation where first feet in, you know what I mean, just going through all that and just kind of automatically get to know people. No, I kind of like to take my time and feel people out. That's the way I do it.
And that's okay. You know, one of the things I was going to mention also is that because we sometimes feel like outsiders and other people feel like outsiders, we have to be very, very careful to be accepting ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, there are going to be people who have different language, different cultures, maybe even different dress, different habits. We can't isolate them. We have to make sure that we are welcoming as ourselves to other people so that we can feel welcome also.
Absolutely.
So we may have here on campus people who dress a little differently because of their religion or culture.
Yep.
We may have people who may not have the best English, but we have to be open to them.
Open. And be acceptable.
Accepting to them.
Exactly. That's right.
And make sure that we're welcome so that we can feel welcome with them.
Yeah. And I'm going to share one more experience. So when I got to LSU, before I moved here, it's been a year already since I've been here. I got to LSU in the summer of 2016, and I kind of picked up, coming from an HBCU, I picked up on something. I was the only black person between the video production staff, the PR staff, marketing staff, ticketing, anything that was external related. I was the only black person. So that's an outsider's perspective right there. But like I said, luckily for me, I can adapt well to a lot of different things. I can have conversations with people about anything, and I can get along with anybody. But at the same time, I still kind of took my time, you know what I mean? Especially in this particular day and age where race is an issue, you know what I mean? I came in and make sure I represented not only for myself, but also for my race and also for my family, and I went in there and killed it. So shout out to LSU.
I hear that too. But one of the other things too that we have to be very conscious of is that many of our students are first-time college attendees. And as such, they can't really get sometimes the understanding and the support that they may need for tackling some of the issues that college represents to our students. And as that can create sort of an outsider barrier also. One of the ways you can tackle that is to make sure that you're making use of the resources here on campus.
Right.
You have counseling services. You have student services around that you can tie into that will help you navigate your college career. You also have students that have done it before. That's one of the reasons for not remaining an outsider. It's important that you create your connections and build your network while you're here at UNT Dallas.
Right.
It'll help you in the future in your career, but it'll help you get through the university. You'll figure out what classes to take, what classes not to take, what professors to take. I'm not pointing at any particular professors, but I'm just saying you'll understand who are the hard professors, who are the not so hard professors. You'll understand what courses to take, how to make sure you address your papers, what are the key things to work for throughout your classes. Look towards the resources on campus and utilize those resources, particularly if you don't have those resources at home, that understanding at home, as I didn't. Because when I went to college, I was the first person in my family to go to college. And I couldn't go back to my parents and say, hey, which college, this college versus that college, or this class versus that class, or how do I do this?
You had to figure it out for yourself.
I had to figure it out for myself, but not really for myself. I had to figure out who I could turn to in my university environment that would provide me with the direction that I need. This is where, as you as an outsider, one of the things you want to do is to develop mentorship. That mentorship can come in the form of other students, but it may come in the form of an administrator, or it may come in the form of a professor. One of the key people that helped me through my freshman year was a professor that befriended me and helped me understand what I needed to do to get through that first year.
Right, and tell them, Greg, not to burn bridges.
Oh, please don't burn bridges. Let me just say it like this. Don't be stupid. What I mean by that is you're going to have situations where it's not going to work out perfectly in any kind of relationship, either with, another student or a professor or an administrator or anybody else on campus. Understand that at some point you may be back in contact and interaction with that same person, so don't burn the bridge.
Don't do it, please.
If you got to leave the relationship for that time period, just leave it, personally, professionally, and move on, because you may be back involved with that person or that situation again. And what happens is people change. So this person may develop some better characteristics that you can interact with at a different time in their college career or after college.
Right, and then just kind of piggyback on that as we wrap up this segment, you guys make sure, you got to treat everybody right, you know what I mean, too. I mean, going into any type of situation, whenever you might go into or whoever you might meet, please treat them right, because you never know what that person may do for you, or you may need something for them down the road.
One other thing, Ben, I want to throw into this part of our conversation is making, again, personal connections. A lot of the connections in our younger generation has been done via texting, being online. Now, I'm not going to throw, cold water at being online or texting or anything like that, but at some point you got to actually connect with people directly. There's so much texting and things around. There's so many ways to avoid real personal connection. And when you're an outsider, you need something more than texting to somebody on the other end. You need to be able to have an understanding of what they look like, how they feel, what you can share back and forth with them as a basis for being able to communicate.
Right.
It will allow you to be able to walk into a room and meet a professor.
Right.
Be able to walk into a room and meet President Mung. President Mung is very, very approachable.
Very.
And if he knows that you have something that you want to talk about, he seems to be the kind of person that he'll stop right there
and talk to you
or invite you into a situation where you can have that kind of conversation with him. And many of the professors that I have met here at University of North Texas, Dallas, has been that same kind of people. People who are very welcoming, people who are very interested in their students, people who want to get to know you. So you need to be the person that is going to take that extra step and just go out and meet them.
Yep.
And remember, they are interested in you. So you have to be interested in them.
Exactly.
And it gets beyond the texting. It gets to being personable, and engaging.
Yep. And then calling them on the phone and talking to them in person,
Yeah.
which is the best thing to do.
And they can call Ben, too.
No, you can shoot me a text. No, just playing, just playing. Well, coming up, me and Greg are going to close out the show with our New Year's resolutions and tell you if we think the Dallas Cowboys will beat the Los Angeles Rams to move on to the NFC Championship game for the first time in over 20 years. You're listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of Southern Dallas and the University of North Texas at Dallas. Stay tuned, y'all.
Attention UNT Dallas students. Does your resume need tweaking? Or are you in search of an internship? Better yet, are you looking to start a business? Well, our Career Services Department is where you need to be. Under the direction of Arthur Lumsey Jr. and Whitney Crawford, this department provides career tips and guidance to get your professional journey on the right path. For more information, stop by room 246 in Founders Hall or send an email to careerservices@untdallas.edu. And remember, everyone, blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, for our last segment. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast. That's Urban ADV Podcast. And join the conversation. Greg, before we get into our 2019 New Year's resolutions, what was your 2018 like?
2018 was a year that just sort of flew by. It's probably the fastest year I can recount in my life. It just seemed like I was celebrating New Year's Day, and then all of a sudden, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden, it just went right by real quick. But during the course of the year, this was a year of structural change for me. Change where I lived, change with some of the folks that I was associated with, did a lot of changes in the kind of projects I was involved in, the people I was associated with. Got a chance to meet Ben Jive. Got a chance to become associated with UNT Dallas.
Yes.
A lot of structural change in my life during 2018, and really also a year of substance. This was one of those years where the things that I was doing really, really mattered. And that's what I really look back on 2018 and say, wow, I got a chance to do some things that impacted people's lives, that impacted the way certain businesses were managed or built. I got a chance to do some things that really helped entrepreneurs get from point A to point B. So I'm looking back at 2018, very satisfied, but just amazed at the speed and how fast it went by.
Yeah. Well, my 2018, I would say, was probably the greatest year of my life. I ain't gonna hold you. I turned 30, so that was my golden year.
Yeah, old man now.
I turned 30, yeah. So I hit that little milestone. I moved to Dallas, a city where I always dreamed of being here. Just so happened that 2018 was the right time and the perfect time. And so, like, once again, shout out to Paul Corliss for giving me the opportunity to move here and get the job here at UNT Dallas, which has greatly impacted my life in so many areas. Most notably, getting to meet you, Greg, and start this podcast, get back behind the mic, which I haven't done since college. You know what I mean?
I got it. But, you know, one of the things that's really great about this show is that we get to come back to our audience with two very different perspectives. we're at different stages in our lives.
Yes.
This young man, Ben, is, a young Turk. I mean, he's ready to take over the world, and he's going to be very, very successful. I can tell you that now.
Appreciate it.
I recognize talent when I see it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I'm in a different stage of life. I've been through running things and impacting things day in and day out, and now I'm more at a reflective stage of trying to pour into other people's lives. So we, through this show, get to impact our audience in different ways through our different perspectives on life. And it's really kind of nice. It's something that I really found in 2018 was very, very pleasing. It's something I look forward to doing because here I get a chance to take the same topic, and Ben and I come at that topic from completely different perspectives. But I believe that because we come at it from different perspectives,
Right.
we give our audience context. We give them something they can actually hold on to. Something from Ben that is driving, that talks about right now, and maybe my perspective that maybe has a little bit more context, that's a little bit more reflective, that says, maybe not.
Yeah. It's
So
complimentary.
It's complimentary, and it's really good, and I'm so glad I have the opportunity to do it with you, Ben.
Hey, Greg, it's been my pleasure, man. I've enjoyed every moment of this. And like I said, getting back behind the mic, which is both of our roots from college. You know what I mean? I used to have my own sports radio talk show with my man Cassius Fleming. Shout out to him. He's working for CBS Sports up there in New York. And I know you did your thing when you was in college.
WVBR, AM and FM, upstate New York.
Oh, you still got it.
World's very best radio.
Ooh, hear that voice, y'all?
Gregory Alexander coming to you live and in living color. Let
Ooh.
me drop something on you.
Oh, y'all hear that, man? Greg's still out here with that voice.
So what are you looking forward to in 2019? What are some of your objectives for 2019?
Man, so as you know, as I told y'all before, I ate so crazy over the break. So I began
We can see it.
He always throwing shade. I'm gonna let you live though. Nah, so I start off 2019, man, with the Daniel fast, man. So I'm on day 4 of it right now. So no meat, no bread, no sugar, no juice, none of that stuff. So all veggies, fruit, whole grain stuff, and I'm struggling right now, Greg. I've tried tofu for the first time the last couple of days, and I'm doing okay, but last night was rough.
So what's the objective? How many days?
Man, 21 days.
21 days.
21 days, and I'm gonna keep it up just through that particular period of time, and then I'm gonna try to keep the fried foods away, and also the bread. I'm trying to drop these.
No catfish, no fried chicken.
I love canes, man. We was talking about that earlier.
I
at
know,
the
because you
office.
said you're a caner.
Man. Anyways, I ain't gonna talk about that. You're gonna get my mind racing, but yeah, that's the main thing. Also, when I went to my New Year's Eve watch night service at Concord, Pastor Carter asked us to speak to God about, what we hope for God can do for in our lives. And I asked for patience. You know what I mean? I'm about to be a dad. I have my daughter on the way. She'll be here in a couple of months. Obviously, being a parent, I know you know this, you got to have patience. I know sometimes I can be impatient with stuff. I'm used to things going to a certain order, certain way. But I know as a parent, you got to throw all that out the window because you're responsible for a whole nother life. So that's what I hope to accomplish in 2019.
Yeah, I can tell you, man, the times that, going back many, many years, because my daughter is now 27, days where I thought I was going to be on this schedule and I was working corporate and all that, and you throw that away. You just ignore that. You're just not on a regular schedule anymore. And you never have clean clothes because you think you're about to go out and you're all sharp and everything else, and then you got spittle. Somewhere on your suit, on your shirt, something else is happening.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep that on my mind. I hope buy a whole bunch of I got a whole bunch of raggedy tees anyway, so it'll be okay.
So, for 2019, I have some very specific things that I am looking forward to. One of the most important is recapturing time.
Yes.
I look at how I spend my time. And I really took a really hard analysis because, of all the things that we can produce more of, we can't produce any more time. We can make more money, but we can't produce
get that time
more
back.
So since I know I can't get more time, I'm recapturing time. So I am saying no more often. I am taking things off of my calendar that used to be on my calendar. I am looking at things that I used to volunteer for that I am saying there's somebody else that can handle that.
Yeah.
So I am really making an effort this year to recapture time and give myself more time for the things that are priority for me. A second thing that I've really done is something that you're doing, It's taking care of myself and making
Yes.
myself a priority. As you get older, did I say that? As you
Seasoned.
get older,
Season more wise. Say that.
you need to spend more time really taking care of you. So I am emphasizing this year, for probably the first time in my life, sleep. I'm actually going to bed and trying to capture
8.
I haven't gotten to 8
Yeah,
on a
that's
regular
tough.
basis yet, but it's better than 3 and it's better than 4.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm really emphasizing sleep, get into bed at a decent time at night. And even if I wake up really early,
Yeah.
rather than clicking on the computer or clicking on the television
Or your phone.
or opening up a book, I'll just lay down there and try and go back to sleep
Yeah.
and capture that sleep. I'm trying to eat better, you know, as an objective, and make sure I get that exercise in.
Yeah.
You know, I know you do a whole bunch of exercise.
Trying.
But I'm really trying to work on this exercise thing this year. I've even brought in a trainer again this year, so I can, you know, have some
Nice.
accountability. Since I'm paying them, I got to be able. I've got to be
Better get
there.
your money's worth.
The other thing that I am doing this year as part of my objectives is I am embracing a new role,
Okay. Which is?
and I call that role the elder. So the elder is a person that works with you. I'm not trying to run anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to spend my time invested in
Others.
other people,
Right.
sharing my wisdom,
Yes.
and helping them grow theirs. Because I've had my opportunity to run things.
Yeah.
I want to see people like yourselves, like our students, like the other people that we come in contact with,
Right.
be successful in running their thing. And if I can contribute to helping them do that, I want to be the elder in their lives, the gray hair, that's helping them grow themselves to be successful. And then finally, big shout out to my lady, Allison.
Shout out to Allison.
Miss Allison. I am using love as a verb.
Okay.
So I am acting out on love as opposed to just using it as just something to describe.
Man, you better drop that knowledge, Greg.
So love as a verb is something that I am embracing for 2019.
Hey, Greg, I know you're going to accomplish because you're a go-getter.
Hey, man,
That's what you do.
that's what I do.
Okay, so now to the most important part of the show. Who you got on Saturday night?
Well,
Cowboys or the Rams?
I am going to be like, Stephen A. Smith, who talk all that noise about the Cowboys. Now, on paper, the Rams should win this game, but the Cowboys are going to win this game.
Tell us why, Greg.
Let
Tell
me
us
just
why.
tell you this for 3 reasons.
Yo, number one, what's up?
Zeke.
Zeke, 2-1, I got you.
All right, Zeke's going to have the ball a whole lot. And he's going to run, and he's going to run, and he's going to run.
Yeah.
Number 2, the offensive line. Okay? Our O-line is just fantastic. They're providing us with protection. They're opening up holes. They're going to make the Rams look like Swiss cheese. Okay? And finally, number 3,
Yeah.
our defensive line and our overall defense led by the Wolfman.
Oh.
He is
Leighton
doing it
Vander
up.
Esch.
He is doing it up. And all I have to say to you, Ben, is how about them Cowboys?
About him, man. We was talking off air before the show started. We both kind of got that mentality, like, oh man, they gonna lose, man, and they win. As y'all know, we both Cowboy fans, so I'm gonna keep that same mentality rolling into this week. Me personally, I think it's a very good chance Dallas can win, but I think offensively the Cowboys, they have to put up enough points. I think they should have beat the Seahawks by a lot more points last week. They kind of squandered away some opportunities. So this week, obviously,
Did they win?
They won.
Okay.
They won.
Even
won.
if they win by 1 point.
They won.
Okay.
But this week, you know the Rams, how they are, man. A very, very good offensive team with Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, some really nice receivers.
But they're going to run into the Cowboys' defense.
They are.
And Goff better run because the Wolfman is coming.
Him and Jalen Smith are an awesome linebacker duo, probably one of the
And
best.
Gregory.
Randy Gregg is coming off the edge. He's picking up really well. DeMarcus Lawrence. Hopefully Malik Collins can play this week. I know he got slowed up a little bit the previous week against Seattle. The secondary is doing really well. I just need for them to create some turnovers. They didn't have one last week, and Seattle had one which was a bad throw by Dak, but he's playing better, though. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Since the last time we talked. But I think the defense definitely needs to create some turnovers to give the offense a better field position and possibly, if they get lucky, get a pick six or return a fumble for a touchdown. I don't know if that's going to happen because Todd Gurley is one of the best backs in the league, but Zeke did win the rushing title this year. He definitely did. Jared Goff is very accurate from the pocket, but if you get him on the move and you get some pressure in his face, which Dallas has done a very good job of lately, actually throughout the entire season, Dallas probably most likely going to have a chance. But I am worried about Brett Maher, the kicker. I'm very worried about him.
Why are you worried about him?
He's been shaky, man. He's been shaky. If it's not a guaranteed, here's the thing with Maher. If it's like a 55 to like 60 yard, he's going to nail him. But at them easy ones, cutting it way too close for me, as you saw with the Bears last week.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So obviously, when you get into playoff games, kicking is definitely one of the most crucial parts of the game, probably the most underrated part of the game.
Kicking game's going to be real important.
And also Tavon Austin.
That's true.
So, we'll talk about
so
special
you know,
teams.
one of the things that we need to say, and I know that all Cowboy fans feel this way, we continue to have number 13 Hearns in our prayers.
Absolutely. Actually, number 17. 13 is Gallup. Yep.
17.
Yeah, Hearns actually, for those who didn't see the game, Hearns suffered a devastating leg injury. They only showed it one time. That's how bad it was. So, but he's expected to make a full recovery in August. So our prayers and thoughts are out to him. And hopefully the Dallas Cowboys, who actually going to be thin at receiver because Cole Beasley has to practice all week. So
Cole Beasley's going to be there. I promise you.
I hope so, man.
They're going to wrap him up, and he's going to be out there.
Hey, he got the high ankle sprain, I should say. And, you know, he's real quick in the slides. So hopefully he'll be okay, but we'll see though, Greg. But so what's your score prediction on the game, Greg?
28-23.
Ooh. That's a good one. I'm going to go 24-23 Rams. But in the back of my mind, you already know I'm hoping the Cowboys are going to win. So I'm going to keep that same momentum.
Did you hear this, folks? Did you hear this, folks? Did he just predict a Rams victory?
Yep. I'm going to take that same momentum, same mentality that I've had all year because they've already exceeded my expectations for the year. I thought they was going to go 8-8, 7-9, but that was before they got Amari Cooper, though.
Is this Ben Stephen A. Smith Bullock?
Yes and no. I'm not the screamer like him. You know what I mean? So, but Greg, before we let these people go, man, anything else you want to add?
I just want to say that as you guys kick off this new semester, forget about any challenges you had last semester. Make this brand new and make it fantastic.
Absolutely. And make sure you guys develop relationships, cultivate them. You know, you fight through the semester. You're going to have some ups and downs, but it's okay though. You'll get through it. And as long as you do that, you're going to walk across that stage and be on to an even better job. Okay? Greg, you straight?
I'm straight.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll do it for this week's show. For Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell, thank you for listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of Southern Dallas and the University of North Texas at Dallas. And remember, everyone, blaze your trail.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. To learn more about the university, head to untdallas.edu. And remember, blaze your trail.